Hello again, everybody. It's Friday forecast time, Thanksgiving edition. Happy Turkey Day to all. And Sean, let's move past Penn State. I think we've turned the page, coaches turned the page, players have turned the page. What is your takeaway from Penn State?
Well, it was a tough game in a lot of respects, just playing a night game on the road and just the way they played in general. And I think it's one of those ones you have to flush, unfortunately, on a short week, but you still got to talk about it because they went out there and really laid an egg. Matt Rule said they had multiple assignment busts defensively to start the game. The offense failed to kind of finish some early red zone opportunities, and from that point on, you just never felt like Nebraska was in that game.
Yeah, you kind of have to adjust your game plan when you fall behind by so much. And one silver lining out of all this, Matt Rule thought that they'd get home at 3 a.m. They got home at 2 a.m., so there's an extra hour of sleep, right? I mean, there's something there.
It's like a daylight savings time all over again.
Absolutely. Well, I want to ask you about what Matt Rule talked about on Monday, and that was the difference between 8-4 and 7-5, and really that's what it boils down to on Friday, what Nebraska will finish its regular season as. You asked the question, what was your take on his response?
Yeah, I think he knows. I mean, look, Iowa has owned this series. They've won 9 out of 10. They've won every game in Lincoln but one, and that game was back in 2011.
Right.
I was 31 years old.
Right.
I mean, they make me feel old now, Andy. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
When you think about that, because when they won that game in 2011, you kind of thought, oh, this would be the first of many wins over Iowa and Lincoln. They've only had the one. So I just think there's so much to it because Iowa does it a lot different than Nebraska, and they don't do it in a flashy way, and their way still has found ways to beat Nebraska consistently. And you win this game, it kind of changes the tone of the season. It knocks Iowa's season back a notch. And you could argue that Kirk Ferentz's career has really risen because of his success in these 10 years against Nebraska. By winning that Black Friday game, they've always bumped their bowl game spot up. They've knocked Nebraska down a notch, and they typically win their bowl games. This is the way they approach their bowl games. So the games against Nebraska have kind of changed both programs, and for Nebraska, you'd hope it could be a game that could try to change their program this year.
Yeah, Matt Rule's 0-2 against the Hawkeyes, and he said the big thing that stands out when they play Iowa is Iowa's so comfortable at playing in close games. They do it all the time, and that Nebraska still isn't at that level of comfort. And he's spoke glowingly, really, about Iowa's program on Monday. From his perspective, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of bad blood, but from outsiders looking in, man, this is as good as it gets.
Yeah, I think he was saying things diplomatically.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
Anybody that saw the pregame scene on the field with the armed Iowa troopers and Nebraska's athletic director, Troy Dannon, and Matt Rule will tell you these guys aren't breaking bread over Thanksgiving.
Right.
And I just think the fan base, too, you can sense it when you're in that stadium, the Let's Go Hawks. You can just hear the blood in their voice, how angry they are when, they stole the game from Nebraska last year. I mean, and they knew it. The fan base knew it, and they loved every second of that. And that's a rivalry. That is a rivalry. And you tip your hat to Iowa. They have beaten Nebraska. Of these 10 games, Nebraska's won 1, and Iowa's probably taken at least 2 or 3 that Nebraska probably should have won.
Yeah, and looking at the game itself, Iowa likes to run the ball. You know how Nebraska's done against the run recently. Is that as simple as it gets in terms of stopping Iowa and getting the upper hand here?
Yeah, it's the efficiency of Iowa's runs. Like, how well will they do on early rundowns? Because, Penn State was 6.4 yards on first down runs. If they do that at Iowa, it's going to be a long game because Gronowski, third and short, forget about it. He can run for it. He can throw for it. They're very good at the short throws, and obviously his ability to run in the red zone is what worries you with 13 touchdowns on the year. So I think that is the key. Can they get Gronowski in some third down situations where he's got to throw the ball downfield, not just short little throws that he gets rid of it quickly?
Yeah, no question about it. And I think Nebraska may be coming off the one game this year that they possibly got outplayed on special teams, it's fair to say, right? And you're coming in against a team that specializes on special teams. A huge matchup for Mike Eckler's crew to really end this season on a high note on special teams.
Yeah, just the return game needs to show up. Hopefully Kenneth Williams back for Nebraska, but Archie Wilson, this is one of the tougher games he's going to see all year with the return game Iowa has, and they have the reigning Jet Award winner at punt return. So
and a finalist again this year.
So there's a lot of things there that could change the game, and a punt return by Iowa is usually the recipe of how they win a lot of these games.
Yeah, how do you think this plays out?
Oh, again.
Well, let me guess. Four-quarter game.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I don't have my score prediction here.
Yeah,
yet
I know.
For you,
No. I just meant it's gonna come down to the fourth
this
quarter.
This game will come down to the final possession.
No question.
There's no doubt.
Yep.
And is Nebraska disciplined enough to win? Iowa has proven they are every year, and that's the key. Can they get over this hump where Iowa just figures out a way to make the play? Where Nebraska, I mean, think about 2 years ago, Tommy Hill gets the pick.
Yeah.
You're handing the ball to Chubba Purdy in a tie game.
Yep.
All he's got to do is make a couple of plays, and Nebraska
throw an
wins
interception.
And he throws interceptions.
Yes.
And the thing that's maddening about these Iowa games is they're going to go to overtime. No, Iowa figures out a way to win it.
Yeah.
To avoid overtime. There's been several of the games where Ferentz makes that walk-off field goal to avoid overtime.
Yeah, no question about it. And for people who don't know, what does this game mean in terms of the bowl scenarios? What are you hearing about the future and where Nebraska is going to spend the new year?
Assuming Michigan gets beat by Ohio State, Michigan would go to Orlando. The winner of this game then would go to Tampa to the ReliaQuest Bowl. If Nebraska were to lose to Iowa, more than likely Las Vegas. I think the only thing that would get in the way of Las Vegas is if a USC or Washington, a former Pac-12 team, would get that spot. And then I don't know if they'd want that matchup for Nebraska, or Nebraska wouldn't necessarily be wild about playing another Big Ten team. So we'll see. But, yeah, Vegas or Tampa are probably your two likely spots.
Well, those are good options. You'd love to be in Florida, though, over the holidays. We'll see what happens Friday. It's an 11 a.m. kick. It's Black Friday, the Heroes game. Nebraska and Iowa against two 7-4 teams. It's on CBS.